presentation, we are going to look at the rule of Mawlay Hassan. Some authors or some historians refer to him as Hassan III of Morocco. He was a renowned Sultan of Morocco. He came to the throne of the Sultan of Morocco, or the Sultanate of Morocco, in 1873. He was a very powerful king, a very powerful sultan, and had the intention of uplifting, sustaining, and developing Morocco, just like Muhammad Ali did in Egypt. But when he became the sultan, there were a lot of problems. There were a lot of problems facing Morocco. And these problems can be classified under two categories. There were external problems and there were internal problems. These problems created a lot of instability in Morocco. Well, he became a sultan at the time the Europeans were seriously struggling to have influence or at the same time take over Morocco. The French, the British, and other Europeans, but mainly the French and the British, were seriously struggling to take over territories, if not as well to take over the whole Morocco. And Mawlay Hassan observed and discovered at the same time, took into recognition this fact or this problem. Well, this was in order to prevent the Europeans from occupying his territory, that he took serious interest in modernizing the territory. Well, he was a strong ruler and a devout Muslim. Like some other kings before him, Mawlay Hassan set up a strong army and brought in modern weapons to help the army towards defending their territories. He embarked on building modern industries in an attempt to occupy or to copy the Europeans. There were some similarities between the policies and activities of Mawlay Hassan and that of Muhammad Ali in Egypt. The effort of Mawlay Hassan to modernize his country were, however, disrupted by rebellions, which were based on ethnic disturbances within his country. So that takes us to the internal problems that we are disturbing the actions, activities, and progress of Mawlay Hassan or Hassan III in administering Morocco effectively. So he spent most of his time, like others before him, fighting rebels in several parts of his country. Well, he nearly succeeded in bringing the whole country under one central administration. But he had serious challenges on mainly the mountainous or the hilly areas, where several ethnic groups, making it impossible for him to succeed, we are uniting, or we are working against the unity of the whole country. Well, another part was on the foreign policy side. In the foreign policy side, he wanted to modernize his country through the European contacts. Well, at first, he also wanted to preserve the country's independence. These were the two major things that he wanted to. He never wanted external control. Also, want some help from, these external controls or the external influences or external elements in order to modernize his country. But to preserve the independence was a bit difficult. But one unique thing was that throughout his reign, no European country was able to take over Morocco. He countered the activities of the French by sheltering under the British. So this made it possible for him to, sustain his independence, which he did by kind of trying to play the French against the British, or play the British against the French, because these two major European powers at that time were interested in taking over territories or taking over the whole of Morocco. Well, the British did not allow the French a free hand in Morocco. But within a short time, these two powers realized that Mawlay Hassan was playing both sides. Well, this method of his did not last for long, because these two European powers were soon to realize their disagreements and settle their quarrel over Morocco. This was a settlement that has been classified as the famous Anglo-French Concord or Agreement of 1904. Well, this agreement, the external pressures on taking over Morocco increased because there was an agreement between the French and the British. Well, in 1894, Mawlay Hassan died. He was succeeded by a young sultan called Sultan Abdel Aziz. Sultan Abdel Aziz was a minor of about 16 years. He was a minor of about 16 years. Well, he was inexperienced. He was an inexperienced sultan and was misled by his British advisors. He developed a liking for British manufactured goods, toys, trinkets, lawn mowers, and the rest. I ended up wasting government money on these items. His friendship with these non-Muslims also weakened his Islamic faith and that of his position as a ruler. Sultan Abdulaziz was so extravagant that by 1903 he had no money left in the government treasury. He started borrowing like one of his predecessors. He also started borrowing. And that same year, he borrowed over £800,000 from Britain, the French, and Spanish money lenders. The French, of course, encouraged him to borrow so as to pave way for their occupation of the country. In 1904, they pushed him yet to another loan of 65,500,000 francs, for which he paid a commission of 12,500,000 francs. Earlier in the 1900s, the European moneylenders had formed a union called Comité du Maroc, under which they asked the French government to occupy Morocco. This they did in order to hold the French government responsible for repaying their debts. The French occupation of the country therefore became inevitable. The French henceforth started looking for reasons, as they actually did in Tunisia, to justify their occupation. When there was no rebellion, the French helped in inciting the people to rebel in order to weaken the Sultan's authority. Well, they supported one impostor called Bull Hamara, who declared himself Sultan. Well, in the disagreement that followed, the French ended up occupying Morocco. Well, the impacts, intentions of Hassan III was later, rubbished by a weak, uncoordinated Sultan. Please subscribe to our channel and click on the notification icon so that anytime we have a new content, you'll be one of the earliest persons to be notified. We will appreciate your comments. We appreciate your contributions, because history is vast and no one person can be said to know everything. Myself and my team cannot be said to have covered every other area. And one of the effective methods of presenting history, researching history, is by extensive analysis of resources, information within every part of that content or that topic. Thanks for being part of our presentation today.